Okay, so modern films hooked me up with this new, really interesting, I don't know what you call it. Film, it's a documentary. It's called Stephen, right? It is directed by Melanie Manchot, who also came up with the story and this crazy concept of putting this together. Leigh Campbell actually wrote the script. It's produced by Eleanor Hill, executive produced by Fatos Ustek and Sol Papadopoulos, and Melanie Manchot co-produces. Forest Swords handles the music, right? Um, Bevis Bowden, Roger Chapman, and Andrew Schonfelder handle the cinematography. Graham Hanks and Lisa Ryan Carter are on editing duties. Stephen Ora, production design. Sidon Roberts, costume design. Hair and makeup, we have Anoy Negro, um, and our cast. Well, Stephen Giddings plays Thomas Good and himself. Yep, I know. Um, Kent Riley plays his brother Paul Gould. We have Sarah, Thomas's girlfriend, played by Paisley Reed. There's Max, played by Michelle Collins, and Frank, played by Michael Stark. So the gist, right? A combination of narrative fiction with real life observation, interviews, and archive material. It takes the form of a film within a film, inspired by a famous Mitchell and Kenyon movie held at the British Film Institute archive, Arrest of Gould, 1901, the first ever crime reconstruction and the very first film produced in Liverpool. The film takes us on an intimate journey with two characters as Stephen Giddings, the film's main character, auditions for and takes on a role in a movie produced with a mixed cast of people in addiction recovery alongside four professional actors. The work presents alternative perspectives on urgent social questions, including alcohol, drug misuse, gambling, and mental health. As fiction merges with reality, the separation between person, actor, and character begins to dissolve, and the lines between what is real and what is fabrication starts to blur. So, yeah, it is such an interesting piece. This it is like fascinating because we see him at the beginning, right, sitting in this dark room. Well, we have this black and white image on screen, and then we see a guy sitting there in this dark room watching it, and like I had no clue that was an actual film, right? The first crime recon rec first right recognition. Okay, well, you know what it is, people. Reconstruction. I don't know why that was so difficult. Oh my days. But yeah, it was the first, right? Depicting this guy, which is fascinating, right? Just it's kind of crazy, you know? We're telling this story of this person that, yeah, not the you know, not the best. Yeah. Like this real guy, Thomas Gould, worked as a bank clerk, right? Worked as a bank clerk, but was addicted to gambling. So he took money from the bank, took money from the bank, and got caught. All right, got caught and ended up going to debtor's prison to serve hard labor for 10 years, which those workhouses and all of that, yeah, not meant to be the best, right? I don't think anyone would necessarily choose that, but yeah, that's what happened. And so this film is capturing that, right? It's giving us a reinterpretation of that story in modern day, but then blurring it with all this other stuff. So we see Stephen Giddings going for auditions to play Thomas Gould. And so you're cut in between that, right? The scenes in the pub, and you're like, oh, is this after the audition? No, this is the film, right? So we see the audition, and then we see bits of this film being made. So it's just all like, yeah, this real blurred lined kind of thing. Now, tonally, right, we do get this shift, the visual hues of the film. So Manchot, yeah, she does this thing with that, which kind of, gives you this understanding. We oftentimes see like Giddings change his clothes. Right. So that old adage, clothes maketh the man. Right. So we see Stephen walking and changing, becoming Thomas. Or maybe it's the other way around, right? So we see all of this, but we also then have these um, recovery sessions like AA type of thing, these groups, everyone's sitting around talking, right? Talking about addiction, talking about that thing. At one point, this woman says, you know, I hate labels, right? I hate being thought of as an addict. I'm more than that, right? And this other guy's like, yeah, but you're an addict. You know what I mean? Why you can't hide that, you can't deny that. And I think it's an interesting thing, right? Because I mean, there are levels of addiction, right? There are functioning addicts. There are people where it completely consumes them and destroys them. I mean, it will destroy you eventually. Some people can ride it a lot longer than others. And you can say, yeah, you have these other aspects of yourself. But I think with things like addiction, it's something that can destroy your life. So you are judged by that. Right, we're judged by these important kind of things, those dominating factors of ourselves a lot of the time, and addiction is one of those. But you just hear all of these different people talking about like these different forms of addiction, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, gambling. I mean, there's so many different types, right? So we hear all of this. We also hear Stephen talk about suicide, right? And mental health. And it's just, it's kind of unrelenting because you're seeing, this Thomas Gould character, like doing all of this stuff. And then we're hearing Stephen talk, and we're seeing the AA sessions and the other interviews and things. So we are being waterboarded with all of this stuff. It's important stuff, though. It's important stuff, right? And I think it brings it home. It really brings the the severity of this, right? How it can just completely ruin you, right? So with Thomas, it's the gambling, right? People, they gamble, they're up, but no, we've got to keep on going, got to keep on going, raise the stakes. Right? That's crazy, right? It's crazy. And you just think, walk away. Can't you walk away? But no, they're addicted. They're chasing that high. Or or they think, all right, I might have lost, but I can win that back. Right? That was a fluke. I don't usually lose. I'll win the next one, or I'll win the next one. I mean, I wasn't focused before. Now I'm focused. I'm gonna win, and so that's what we get, right? You see someone, he's got a girlfriend. She's pregnant. They're talking about moving in. You just see all of this stuff, these good, positive things happening in his life. It's not enough. You know what I mean? It's not enough. We hear Stephen talk about, this suicide attempt. We hear him talk about his relationship with his family and his dad and mom and just all of these different things. Right? And there's this rawness to it. There's this rawness to it, which just brings it home. Really does. On top of all of this, we have this dancer as well, which I don't know why. I don't know why she's there, but it is visually striking, right? Like with all of this other stuff that is happening, and then you have this woman doing these movements, and it's kind of like, I don't know, that little break from all the other stuff that you're hearing and you're seeing. So I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know what the choice was, but yeah, there's something about it. There's something about it. It's just such a fascinating film. It's such a fascinating film because it's just, you know, these two different stories, but with this connective tissue. And one of these stories is real. I mean, they're both real, right? I think that's, well, I think there's reality in both, right? But Thomas Gould actually happened. That's a thing, right? So yeah, it's a fascinating thing. It's also an art installation, right? There's an art installation happening. Um, I live in Cornwall, right? In the what's it? The place is called the Escape, I believe. Um, yeah, it's an interesting thing, people. I think you don't have to have been affected by any of the things mentioned in this film, I would say, to just be captivated by it. You know what I mean? I think it's just it will grab you regardless. As the acting is very good. It's very good acting from everyone involved, you know? So you have this great acting, but then these themes, right? These themes that are just so universal. As I said, they might not have happened to you, but chances are you know someone that has been affected by this. So it's just, yeah, it is, whew. Yeah, so there's an installation happening at Liverpool Biennial. And yeah, in Cornwall as well. Um, but it's gonna get its general release on the 26th of April. So I highly do recommend checking out Stephen, because it's just a fascinating visual journey, right? Fascinating. Just the way it's put together, the way it's shot, the construction. It's impressive. It's impressive all around. The acting, you know, script, direction, cinematography. Yeah, it's great. So yeah, Stephen, out on the 26th of April.